Hello, so here we're looking at romantic relationships in individualistic and collectivistic cultures. Just an overview of it: romantic love, that is a desire to maintain a monogamous relationship with an individual, which encompasses passion, commitment through your emotions, cognitions and behaviours. Looking at emergent adulthood, so young adulthood. And individualism refers to prioritising the self in terms of identity, whereas collectivism, the importance is fostering a we identity opposed to an I. Past research, so this one looked at Russia, US and the Lithuania. We're just going to skip to the results for this one. So just Russia and Lithuania were the collectivism cultures and US was the individualism. So we looked at core values here. Now, there was no unanimous arching core value. However, across all cultures, participants seem to prioritise happiness, intrusive thinking, passion, improvement of the well-being of partner, and altruism. Now, there were disparities. In the US, love and friendship was seen as core features of a relationship, whereas in Russia and Lithuania, they saw relationships as a fairy tale-like experience, which will eventually come to an end, if not to plateau. The second research, we looked at relationship maintenance behaviours. So we looked at behaviours such as openness, positivity, assurance networks, and also alongside the attachment style of the participant, whether anxious, avoidant, or secure. The results showed in the US there were overall sex differences, where females engage in more maintenance behaviours than males. However, this was equal over Malaysian participants. If not, the men were more likely to engage in these maintenance behaviours. Malaysian women did sky higher on avoidance attachment compared to males, and in Malaysia, group dating was preferred as it was easier to conceal the relationship from their family if they weren't to approve. So this is important for a number of reasons. Couples therapy often prefers westernized theories about love and romance, which obviously can be problematic. And I think it's also about treating the client as a person and not trying to place them into a category of a theory, particularly if it is a westernized theory. There are limitations, as I said. Westernized theories are problematic because if you're counselling a multicultural couple, yet you're placing westernized ideas upon them, you're not really engaging with them and being culturally sensitive. There wasn't a focus on same-sex relationships, which is... there are a lot of people these days who are engaged in that. I think assessing less developed countries will be beneficial, as a lot of countries these days are westernized themselves. And just asking, also considering what we're looking at, the social desirability bias. So are there attitudes towards relationships from a societal point of view, or is that their traditional cultural values? So I've come up with a potential research proposal, which would be a cross-cultural comparison of attitudes towards love in India, Turkey and the US of emergent adults. So this one we've had Indian, Turkish and American participants, again in that young adult range. We wanted them to be in either a heterosexual or homosexual relationship, but living in a domestic situation for at least a year. The materials we used... so a lot of these were based off Gabb's Enduring Love survey. So this takes into account the Monday domestic practices and geographies of relationship, which are important. So we looked at the emotion map, the diaries, Enduring Love survey and interview. So emotion maps aim to find out about your everyday experiences as these take place in your home. In this sense, I asked you to think about and locate what you do and where in terms of your couple relationship and also your wider relationships with other people. Yeah, so for these, you can obviously see you get little stickers and you place them around your home in terms of how you're feeling that day and who that feeling was with. So diaries aim to find out about your everyday routines, for example, what you did and when. You should complete your diaries over the same week period as the emotion map at the time and in a place that suits you. So you want to reflect as much as you can about the relationship during that week, things that you did with other people. So this survey looked at the attitudes towards love, but also assessed the everyday dynamics and mundanities of relationships and sexual and personal dynamics. Here we looked at relationship quality, relationship with your partner, relationship maintenance, and happiness with your partner relationship, and happiness with love and your life in general. And as you can see, it was quite reliable in terms of the consistency of the scale. With the interview part, they were fairly open-ended, and you essentially just want to discuss the emotional map and the dietary entries and try and make connections and find common themes within these. So you look for expectations of the person, look at their family upbringing, things that they do to maintain their relationship and things that they would like their partner to do. Also how they manage the domestic stresses of life. So the design of the study is qualitative, so there's no figures involved, and we just want to have the most natural environment that we can for the participants. So we're using a narrative and discourse analysis. So this is due to the analysis of the diary and the emotion maps, and then that in turn, because we're looking at the lexicons that they use and how they describe their relationship, then we have the interview part, which is narrative based. So we're looking at how these people describe the relationship they're in and use that for a baseline for further analysis. So due to the nature of people being abroad, we'll be engaged, interviews will be Skype engaged, and we'll be speaking with a researcher of their native language. So they'll receive an email with an overview of the study, we'll discuss informed consent and what the study will include. They'll then be sent the emotion map, which they'll complete within a week, alongside the diary as well. They'll complete that in the same week. The questionnaire will be completed on the 8th day, because it will still be fresh in their mind as they've been evaluating their relationship. Then the Skype interviews will occur after that, and they'll be 30 minutes, and within the week that the questionnaire has been completed, they'll then obviously have a debriefing where they can discuss the results of the findings. To conclude, the aim of the research proposal was to discuss the limitations of the previous research. So we did really want to include same-sex and overcome the westernised methodology of and increase cultural diversity so that couples therapy will be more effective.